Welcome to Faceless Global News. Here are today's top stories you need to know, clear and global. Politics and geopolitics. UNGA Spotlight. Trump's address and Ukraine framing. President Trump used his UN General Assembly address to press a hard line, criticizing the UN, calling for tighter migration controls, and signaling firm support for Ukraine's effort to retake occupied territory. The remarks drew mixed reactions in the hall and sharpened questions about U.S. commitments across Europe and the Middle East. Europe-Iran. Sanctions clock is ticking. European leaders say the window is closing to avoid the snapback of UN sanctions on Iran. With negotiations stalled, France and partners are warning sanctions could return within days if Tehran doesn't grant fuller nuclear access. State of Palestine recognitions widen. A growing bloc of Western nations, led this week by France, has recognized the state of Palestine, pushing the diplomatic balance toward a two-state framework even as fighting continues in Gaza. NATO's eastern flank. Airspace and drone rules tighten. After a string of incidents, Lithuania passed a law authorizing its military to shoot down unauthorized drones in national airspace, part of a broader NATO push to deter provocations around the Baltic. Moldova arrests in alleged Russia-backed unrest plot. Moldovan authorities detained 74 people over an alleged plan to incite unrest around a key election, another flashpoint in the tug-of-war between pro-EU and pro-Moscow forces in Eastern Europe. Economy and business. OECD. Growth. Okay, tariff shock still ahead. The OECD says global growth is holding up better than expected, but warns the full brunt of new U.S. tariffs hasn't hit yet, posing risks to 2026 investment, trade, and inflation paths. Markets wobble as dollar firms on Fed caution. Stocks slid, and the dollar strengthened after Chair Jerome Powell offered no fresh signal on imminent rate cuts, keeping investors on edge over how fast policy will ease. UK manufacturing strains after JLR cyber shutdown. In the UK, Jaguar Land Rover's cyber attack fallout has extended factory shutdowns, rippling through suppliers and underscoring cyber risk to industrial output. Factory inventories in US flash a caution light. Rising inventories amid cooler demand point to softer manufacturing momentum in the US, a potential headwind for growth later this year. Energy jobs at risk in North Sea. North Sea operators warn job losses are accelerating, linked to windfall taxes and shifting investment patterns, adding pressure to the UK's industrial outlook. Tech, science, and disasters. Stargate expands. 5 new AI megacenters. OpenAI, Oracle, and SoftBank announced 5 additional U.S. data centers under the Stargate initiative, pushing toward 10 gigawatts of AI capacity and hundreds of billions in CapEx. The build-out highlights a global race to secure compute, power, and chips. Funding gap. AI's trillion-dollar infrastructure bill. Consultants warn the world may face an $800 billion annual shortfall against the revenue needed to fund AI data centers and power upgrades through 2030, raising questions about sustainability and pace. Quantum Internet step. IonQ converts to telecom wavelengths. In a key milestone for long-distance quantum networking, IonQ demonstrated frequency conversion from visible to telecom wavelengths, bringing a future quantum internet closer to reality. NASA NOAA launch space weather probes. A SpaceX Falcon 9 launched 3 spacecraft for NASA and NOAA to study the sun and deliver earlier warnings for solar storms that can disrupt power grids and satellites. Disasters. Super Typhoon Ragasa and South Asia floods. Super Typhoon Ragasa hammered Taiwan, the Philippines, Hong Kong, and southern China, killing dozens, injuring many, and forcing mass evacuations in China's Guangdong. A barrier lake burst in Taiwan's Hualien amplified flooding. Separately, record rains in Kolkata killed at least 12 and submerged the city, disrupting transport and power. That's your daily update from Faceless Global News. For more global news every day, don't forget to check and subscribe, hit the bell icon, and share your thoughts in the comments below. See you in the next update.